Hey guys, so we'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll get started. We'll try this again. I did this a couple minutes ago and I was talking to myself because I realized that I had to be an admin in order to go live on Kara's page. So give it a couple minutes for some people to jump on. Hope all of you are having a fabulous morning. So I see we have 2 viewers, 3 viewers. We're just going to go ahead and get started. I know some people are going to end up watching this playback, so we're going to go ahead and start. So first and foremost, I'm Danielle Doucette. I am an Elite Orange Status presenter, and I want to thank Kara for asking me to talk to you guys about home parties. Home parties is something that honestly I've never done until this past Saturday. It was my very first one. I've done one-on-one consultations before. I've done mother-daughter consultations before. The most people I've normally had in front of me in a very small setting was probably 4 or 5 people. So I was super excited that someone asked me to do a home party. And so I just winged it, honestly. I just tried to think about all the different things or different parties that I had been to before. I know for me, when I was younger, I went to, Pampered Chef parties with my mom, Mary Kay parties, let's see, 31 parties, Origami Owl parties, and parties are for some people, and they're not for other people. They're a more traditional style partying setting, but like I said, they're not for everyone. But I will tell you this, it is a proven fact that when someone is in front of you, they will actually purchase more from you, and because they get to see those products in action, and they get to see, touch, feel, those type of things in this style setting. So number one, the first thing that you need is a host or a hostess. So how are you going to get a host? You are simply going to message people that are your customers or people that have been referred to you. That's one way to get them. Another way is to a simple post on Facebook. Now, you're not going to go out and you're not going to say, okay, I'm looking for a party host. There's the right wording that you need, and that's really, hey guys, who's interested in earning some free Whack Cash and half off items? Something like that. You don't really want to be spammy when it comes time to talking about hosting parties. Another thing is just reaching out to your family and friends. They may not buy from you, but if you tell them that they can earn something for free, they're more probably apt to buying, with free Whack Cash, if that makes sense. So, how did I get my party host? Because this is another way. So, I had a lady message me on Facebook, and she basically said, hey, I'm interested in hosting a home party. Do you do home parties? And I'm like, yes. In the back of my head, I am horrible with names. I'm horrible with putting a face with the name. So I'm thinking, how in the world do I know this lady? Like, I don't want to ask her because she's asking me to do this home party. So what am I going to do? So I just rolled with it, acted like I knew her the whole time, was just as nice as could be to the lady. So we scheduled a party. And so actually come to find out at the party, I was like, so she's the one that actually said, she said, I don't know how we became friends on Facebook. She said, but I want you to know that I watched your tutorials and I watched your live videos and I just watched your before and afters that you would post, and that's why me and my daughter chose you to do our party. And I thought that was so cool. So I probably added her at some point in time as my friend with some different methods that I use to add friends to Facebook. And what do you know? She, just because of my live videos and my video tutorials, she actually asked me to host parties. So I thought that was super cool. That's how that kind of worked out for me. So, it is important to stay consistent with your videos and tutorials when it comes time to everything, because that is the way, like I said, that I got her to host a party and didn't even really know I was getting her to host one. So, next is, what did I do to prep the hostess for the party. So I went to evite.com. It's used a lot for different events that we run through the different groups on Facebook as well. And evite.com, I created an invite. So it's actually one, I think I typed in makeup in the search bar and it come up with one. It had some like makeup brushes and some lipstick or something like that. But you can make it your own, however you want to do it. So I put in my hostess information, her home address, the date, the time. It never had my name on it. It just said Lisa's home party. So I sent this to Lisa, and Lisa sent it to all of her friends and family. So that's how you get your hostess to interact too, because they need to be reaching out to their friends. If I was the one that would have sent the invite, they would have no clue who I was. So you get your host to send out the invite to them. Now, some people like to send out actual invites in the mail. If that's what they choose, then that's perfectly okay. For this, like I said, we just sent it through email. I actually screenshotted it for her, cropped it out for her, so if she had friends that she actually wanted to send through text message, she could send that over too, just a graphic. Boom, it was done. So the next thing is you have to stay in contact with your hostess. For me, when I originally talked to Lisa, she wanted to host a party, and so I told her, I was like, Lisa, I said, we're having a new product launch, and honestly, if I were you, I would wait until after the launch happens. So I stayed in contact with her once a week, just following up with her just to see where she was, how it was coming along. So last week, I actually contacted her, and then I contacted her 2 days before the party, and I said, hey Lisa, I said, so what's our final count for Saturday? And just shared my excitement with her throughout this whole entire time, how excited I was that I was being able to host a party for her at her home. So the day before, I actually messaged her again saying how excited I was that I would see her the next day, what time I would be there, and that type of thing. Just keeping the communication open. So the day of the party, she actually had small finger foods and beverages for her guests. Now, that is something that your hostess does not have to do. That is completely optional, but that was just her hospitality, if that makes sense. She's a very southern lady, and she just loves to have finger foods and beverages, and that was just her thing. So that is something that's optional for your hostess. So when it came time for me, what did I take to the actual home party? So I took what I like to call my stash. Now, I will post in the comments a picture of my stash if you would like me to. Let me just tell you, you do not have to have every single product in order to make this work. What I have built up in the past 2 years, so don't compare your stash to mine. Number one. But I've done this with Cash and half off items. That's how I've built what I have. So if you're the person that wants to end up doing home parties, start hosting parties. Start getting Cash of your own. If you're new, reach for Fast Start. Fast Start's an automatic $250 in Cash, and that could be huge for your business if this is something that you want to do. So I took my stash. The reason why I took everything is because I just wanted people to see things. It's not that I used everything, but it was available if they want it. But I'm going to tell you, there were a couple of different products that people wanted to see, touch, and feel. And that was, the number one thing was our lip products. They just wanted to see the colors that we had to offer. You know, they were in the catalogs, but they wanted to see those in person. And I did have little tester lip brushes where they could actually apply to their lips if they chose that they wanted to. The second thing was the palettes. They wanted to see the palettes. They wanted to see how much shimmer some of the colors had, how matte some of the colors were. So those were really big too. And the third thing was the Instant Uplift Serum. I had a couple ladies that, I offered it to everyone, but I said, if you want to put a little bit under your eyes or your problem spots just in one little place just to see, you're more than happy to do so. So that was a big hit as well. So the fourth thing that was the hit was our foundations and concealers. They were probably, I will tell you, everyone walked out of this party with purchasing something, and I would say probably 75% of those were some type of foundation. So that was good to be able to color match. Now, do I have every single color in liquid foundation? I do not, okay? So that's my first disclaimer. I do not have every color. What I do have is I have every single color of concealer that we have. Why do I have concealer? Because concealer is going to show them coverage, but it's also going to show them the different colors. If you know, our liquid foundation and our skin perfecting concealer, they are true to color with each other. So if you can color match taffeta to someone with a concealer, it's going to be the same color with our liquid foundation. So that's why I use those to color match. Now, I'm color matching them right here on the jawbone through here. I had some women want me to color match them on their hands, and that's okay too. It's just however they feel more comfortable with matching that proper color. Another thing that I did not have, I ordered catalogs in plenty of time, and of course they're going to arrive to my house today, and I needed them by Saturday. So what did I do? I actually went to my website. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it'll say catalog download. You can actually click that and you can print out a catalog. So when you print out a catalog, I basically took a cute little folder, the clear plastic page protectors, I slid them in, binded them into the folder, and I handed those out to people. Now, there were 16 women at this party. Did I have 16 catalogs? No, I had 5. I had 5 catalogs, and they passed them around, they shared them, that type of thing. So you don't have to have a catalog for every single person. Let's see. I have some notes, so let me look and see where I'm at. I don't know if I said this, but one of the reasons why I carry the concealers and not the liquid foundations, like I said, they're $10 cheaper for the concealers, so you're not spending as much Cash or half off items on those products. That's another reason why I do concealers too. Let's see. All right, so at the party, how did this start? So women came in. Honestly, women were consistently coming in. She told me a couple days before that, there were going to be 10 to 15 people there, and there was 16 plus people there, had to have been. I don't know, I didn't do a final count, but it was a ton of people. Lots of mother-daughters, lots of, sisters there together, but she had a great turnout. So it all started, we were in her living room, and I introduced myself, and I told them a little bit about when I joined and why I joined Younique and what Younique has kind of done for me a little bit, and a little bit about my family. I didn't talk about me that long. I did not tell them my complete why story. I just gave them a briefing of the strong points that I have in my journey. I then started with skincare. Why skincare? Because skincare is the key to a good face. And we've learned that, I think, here lately with our new product launch. So I went through the skincare, told them a little bit about each product, some benefits of the different things that we have. And then I asked a question. I said, who knows how many times faster your skin ages if you do not remove your makeup? So we went around the room and everybody gave their guess. So the person that actually guessed the number correctly, she received a gift certificate from me for her next purchase, not for the party day, but for her next purchase for $5 in Cash. So that was just a little something, a fun incentive without having to physically give them something, because 9 times out of 10, if you've ever been to a party and you win something, we all love to win something, but it might not be You know, if you went to a 31 party, it might not have been that perfect pattern that you wanted. Or if you went to a makeup party, it might not have been that right color lipstick that you wanted. So for me, my thoughts are, why not give the customer what they want? And if it's $5 in Y-Cash, then they can use that towards whatever they choose. So that's something that I did, and it worked out really, really, really well. So then I immediately went into the makeover. I did one makeover at this party. Not everyone got to do a makeover on themselves. One makeover only, and I did that on the hostess. If your hostess chooses not to do a makeover, that is completely okay. Get them, you know, their daughter, pick someone that's coming to the party and have them be your canvas, if that makes sense. So I started out the makeover, and I did a moisturizer. I did her instant uplift serum. I primed her. I did the foundation. I did the concealer. I went into bronzer. Then I went into blush. I did her eyes, mascara, and lips, and I was done. As I went through each step, though, I explained the products and options that we had, and they followed me along in the catalog, okay? So with that being said, when I talked about the primer, we obviously only have one primer, so that was done. When the foundations came around, I explained what I was using on Lisa. I used the liquid foundation on her. I showed them the 5 drops, and they were all completely amazed, you know, on the brush. But I also then went into, you know, we do have pressed powder. We do have cream compact foundation. We do have BB Flawless. We do have other options that, you know, if liquid foundation is not for you, that's okay. We do have other things. So then when I went into concealers, I did the same thing. I used the Skin Perfecting Concealer on Lisa, but we also have our mineral concealer. So I talked a little bit about that and how the difference between the two would be, so that way they understood. And it was basically like a product knowledge class, but they were just seeing what I was using on Lisa. So when we went into bronzer, I talked about the different colors of bronzer, how they were light, medium, and dark. I also talked about the blushes, talked about how they were in a pressed compact, but I did have, you know, the little samples. When I actually signed up, I got the samples of the eyeshadows and the concealer, the mineral concealers, and the blushes, the little tiny ones. So I was actually, if someone, you know, then wanted to see a specific color, I had that, which I had no one want to. But, you know, I explained those type of things. So when we went into the eyes, I talked about, you know, our mineral pigments first. I talked about our splurge cream shadows, and then I talked about our palettes. To me, honestly, our palettes are the biggest bang for your buck. That's just my opinion, you know, from using a lot of different things in, you know, in the world of makeup. Our palettes are probably the biggest bang for your buck. So I talked about the palettes. I showed them the different palettes that we had, that I had with me. And then we talked about our mascara, and we also talked about our brow sets. Believe it or not, I had a lot of people buy brow gel. And I think that's because I used brow gel on Lisa. You know, I did not use the brow pencil on her, but I did use the brow gel because it's just a little bit more natural look for some people. And it's something that some people just like just by itself. And typically brow gel is not one of my biggest sellers when I'm selling things online. So those were the steps that I took. Then I went into the lips. I talked about our glosses, our stains, our lipsticks, and I even did show them our liquid lipstick that I had and let them know that it was coming out in October. Why did I tell them that? Because it's in the catalog, and they were asking questions about it, and so I had to let them know that it's something that we will have in the future. And, you know, that was my opportunity to say, you know, if any of you guys are interested in hosting a party in October, please let me know, because our liquid lipstick will be available then. So what I did was I had another gift certificate, and I said anyone that hosts a party, anyone that's here that hosts a party in the month of October, they will actually receive $10 extra in Y-Cash. So that was an incentive for them to go ahead and sign up and host a party. Do you have to do that? No, but I'm not physically giving them anything. If they use it, they use it. If they don't, they don't, you know. So really and truly, it's a gift certificate. It lasts for 6 months. You know, you can choose your expiration date. I choose, you know, a 6-month time frame, and that's just what has worked for me before. So one other thing that I wanted to tell you guys, when I did Lisa's makeover, when I got to the mascara, I only did one of her eyes. And the reason why I only did one of her eyes is because I wanted her to walk around at her party after her makeup was over and show that 3D fiber lash difference to everyone. And it actually worked really well because she had probably 5 of her orders included 3D fiber lash mascara. So that was a huge thing. So throughout the makeover, I obviously took questions. After the makeover, I took questions as well. Different other gift certificates that I gave out or that I offered, anyone who purchases a collection would have gotten $10 in Cash for their next purchase. And anyone who joined my team, they were going to receive 2 half-off items to jumpstart their business. So that's something that I offered as well. So those are some tips on how it kind of went through the party. So after the question session was over and the makeover was done, honestly, it took barely any time. Maybe I'm a fast talker, I don't know. But then we started putting in the orders. Why did I put in the orders at the party? Here is why I did that. Basically, all I did, first of all, is I took my cell phone, I put it on, made it a personal hotspot, hooked it to my computer, had my computer set up, and literally, there was a line of people standing there waiting to be color matched and waiting for their order to be put in. Some people already knew what they wanted to purchase just from me doing a makeover on Lisa. Some people had questions, whatever the case may be. So one by one, I entered in their orders, and we ordered it. It shipped directly to them. I never have to touch it. And guess what? Because I chose to put the orders in there, there's never any question about whether the customer is going to purchase or not. It's done before they even walk out the door and get ready to leave. They've ordered what they wanted to order. After each order was complete, I thank them. Number one, it's also customer service. They get to see you, talk to you. You've stood in front of a room and you've talked to each and every one of them, but they get to personally talk to you face to face and get to know you a little bit better. And that is so huge in this business because people want to know you. They want your opinion on their makeup, and they want to have and find that trust in you in order for them to purchase from you. So I thought that that was huge. After the order was complete, I have a Blitz card. Let me see if I have one. I don't carry business cards anymore. I just don't, and I don't know that I will again. But this is my Blitz card. On one side, it talks about, the mascara. And on the other side of my Blitz card, it talks about the opportunity. Every person that left that party left with one of these. Because you know what? Maybe next week they're going to think about, you know what? I really like to do what she does. And actually, I had a lot of high school girls there. These girls loved them some makeup. And you know what? They're like 16 and 17 years old. Well, guess what? In 1 or 2 years, they can do this too. And honestly, they would knock it out of the park. And I made sure that I showed them that I was confident that they would, because they're like, yes, Mom, I would love to do that, that kind of thing. So they've left with this card, and they know how to contact me. It has my cell phone number. It has my website. It has everything that they need to know about me, about a little bit about the business and how they can purchase more product. And if they need to contact me in case they get something, maybe they don't like it, they need to send it back, they have a way to contact me versus going through Lisa. So that is, I think that's all that I have on exactly how it all worked. I will tell you, it was a huge success for me. It's something that I will definitely do again. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to stay on here for a second, and I would love to hear, some questions that you may have, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. There's a couple of things, you know, that I'm going to post in the comments. Yes, I just saw where someone asked would I post a picture of my Blitz card. I will post that. I will post, you know, my setup. I actually have a picture of the setup that I used at the home party. It was very simple, y'all. It was very simple. I honestly set up my trunk, set up a couple other things, and boom, I was done. You know, Lisa had her finger foods set up, and that was basically all we had. It was just a room full of women sharing their love for makeup and giving them some awesome tips and tricks, and just basically product knowledge is what I really pushed. So does anyone else have any questions at all? Again, I know it's a Monday morning at 10:30, so I thank all of you for joining in. I see we have like 24, it's been up to 27 viewers. That is awesome, and I hope you guys have so much success with home parties. Oh, thanks, Kara. That is good to know. That is great to know. So I'm trying to read these to make sure I get everybody's questions answered. If all of you have products, would it be smarter? If all that we have on hand is our own products. So here's the thing. You can use your own products. Just make sure you're super sanitary with those. Just coming from I guess I have a cosmetology background, so we were all about sanitizing things, you know, and making sure that everything is properly cleaned. I would clean your brushes. You know, just be careful. Make sure you have plastic applicators for your lip glosses, your lipsticks. Here's another huge tip for you guys. And this is just something that I personally do. I do not do a makeover on anyone and use my personal mascara or mascara that's already been open. If they are going to have a makeover with me, they're going to buy the mascara. And for Lisa, I gave her a mascara. That was just my gift to her, because I'm not going to reuse another mascara on someone else, because your eyes are so sensitive, and that is the biggest place that you can transfer bacteria, and that's not what we want to do. And here's the other reason why I just open a brand new mascara and, you know, let them purchase it, or for the hostess I actually gave it to her, is because Younique has created wands that are especially made for our mascara. And for me personally, even on myself, I cannot get the same effect from a disposable wand that I can from our wands. So that is just my thing. I just open up a new mascara, you know, and do it that way. But just make sure, you know, you can find disposable, what are they called? Eye applicators, like for eyeshadows and things like that, or you could just wash your brushes and do them that way, to keep things sanitary. That way that you are, you know, you could maybe just host a party. If you had a ton of eye stuff, just host an eye party. Share the other products, but just host maybe like an eye and lip party. That would be super successful too. That way you're just showing different things. You know, if you're really big into skincare, host a skincare party. You know, however you want to do it, you know, you just kind of make it your own, and you find what works for you, honestly. So let me see if there's anyone else that had a question. Yeah, definitely the biggest thing is that sanitary. Just keep everything super, super, super clean. That's my biggest tip for you guys. Sanitize your hands before you touch someone's face. You know, when you're in between stuff, that is going to be really big, and people are going to trust you a little bit more because they feel like you're keeping things clean for them. I know for me, I don't even like for my kids to touch my face. So, you know, if someone else come to me with their hands on my face, I'll be like, oh, have you washed your hands? You know, so just keep everything sanitary. Show up with your clean brushes. I'll show you guys. I actually got a lot of mason jars. My family, they're very country. So we had a ton of mason jars around, and I put my products in little jars. And so this kind of kept everything organized. Like, here's all my lip pencils. You know, I had my brushes in one of them, and so that way I knew where everything was and I wasn't scrambling around to try to find something. So some way to keep yourself organized: if you have a Younique makeup trunk, take it. If you don't, take what you have and use it. So what do I use to sanitize my products? I actually will, for hands and things like that, I'm using hand sanitizer. To clean my brushes, I use baby shampoo. There is also a brush cleaner that you can buy. It's at Ulta. Any of those work really well, but honestly, I've just found that baby shampoo works really well for me. And it actually gets all the makeup out. Here's the thing though. When you go to shampoo your brushes, that's what I like to call it, I put the baby shampoo in my hand, and what I do is I take the brush and I swirl it around in a circular motion. You never want to do this. It's going to fray the bristles that you have in your brushes, okay? So you want to be very delicate with those, because then once you wash them, you'll find that they shed a lot, if that makes sense, if you're like just fraying them. So you're going around, you're washing it, then I just take and I run it under. I don't get the water super hot, but it's not super cold. It's kind of in the middle. I just let the brush run, and you'll see the makeup draining out of it. And I just take and pinch. Let me find a brush. Hold on, sorry, y'all. So you would just take and pinch down the brush until the water was clear. So that's how I'm sanitizing my brushes. For eyeliners and lip liners, technically, per North Carolina State Board Cosmetology, they even consider sanitizing for those just by simply sharpening the pencil after you use it on someone, okay? So that is a way to sanitize your pencils, just by sharpening them. So if you don't have a sharpener, I would invest in one. So that's how you can actually do these as well. Does anyone else have any questions? So I don't see any more popping up, but if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to drop your comments below. The same way you just sharpen it. Yes, so most state boards are the same. And why I say state board, because if you're following the cosmetology regulations and sanitation stuff, then you're doing well. And that's the only way that I would ever teach you guys to do it, because that's just what I know. So yes, the sharpeners are the best. And I would just keep sharpening them after every use, for sure. But anyways, if you guys have any more questions, just drop them in the comments below, and I will check throughout the day and throughout the next week just to see what you guys, if you have any new questions. And I thank you so much all for joining me this morning, and I hope you all have a fabulous Monday.